Hey, what's going on, Laker family? It's your boy Trevor Pope. Welcome to LA Lakers basketball. Last night we played the Phoenix Suns. We ended up beating the Suns 117 to 107. By looking at the score, some of you might have thought like, man, that was a pretty tight game between the Lakers and the Suns, which it ended up being in the end, which was really weird. And the reason why I said that it was weird, because if you had not watched the game, then you don't know that the Lakers came out on fire. They hit 11 straight baskets before missing a basket in that first quarter. The lead pretty much ballooned as far as 36 points. The Lakers was winning by and ended up winning this game only by 10 points. The Suns marched back. Many people thought that, I'm not going to speak for many people. Let me speak for myself. When we got around halftime and third quarter, my mindset was like, yes, AD, LeBron, the starters, they're going to get some good in-game load management. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. The Phoenix Suns basically came storming back to the point of where Coach Vogel had to put LeBron back in, AD, Danny Green. So, it was somewhat embarrassing, but thank God we got the win, because it would have been a lot more embarrassing if Phoenix would have came back from a 36-point lead and we would have lost that game. But nonetheless, LeBron played great. He had a triple-double, 31 points, 13 rebounds, 12 assists. AD had 26 points and 11 rebounds. Kuz had 19 points. And, those are our three, what we consider to be what we would like to be our three leading scorers. Obviously, we know LeBron and AD is solid, but Kuz, we're looking to be that consistent third option. That's what we need him to be. But, he had 19 points last night. Didn't shoot that well from the field. He was only 5 for 15 from the field. Didn't shoot that well from 3 for 10 from the 3. But nonetheless, he put in 19 points. He was aggressive. He played his game. He came out with his new blonde hairdo, these young people. But, nonetheless, those three guys had a good game. JaVale really played well yesterday. He really, there was a lot of rim protection by JaVale yesterday. He did a really good job protecting the rim, contesting shots. He had 3 blocks, which, actually I think a couple of those other ones he caught, that, some that were called fouls and goaltends, they could have been considered blocks as well. But he had 3 blocks. He pretty much contested everything around the rim, made it really difficult for the Suns players. But, once again, they made a run. We got a little lazy, I don't know if we just kind of got unfocused or got bored with the game, but that's something that we got to work on, because it seems like, all this season we've been kind of dealing with that. When we get, huge leads, we look up and a lot of these teams are storming back and coming back and making it a little interesting. But the Lakers from the 3-point land, which we've been super struggling from, we were only 7 for 28 from 3. Which was 25%. So we didn't really shoot all that well from 3, which has pretty much been the case all season. I'm hoping, that this year, starting off this year and before the playoffs start, that we'll start to turn that around a little bit, but still struggling from the 3-point line. Yesterday we did okay from the free throw line. We shot 24 for 34, which was about 70.6%. So we did all right. Not as good as I would like to see us do, but that's better than a lot of games that we've had previously. There's times where we shot as low as 58%. So we shot 70%, which wasn't bad, but we definitely need to get that number up. Especially when it comes to these games that's going to be tight down the stretch. When it comes to better opponents, that's a lot better than the Phoenix Suns. We're going to really need to buckle down and hit these free throws. But on the Phoenix side of things, Devin Booker had a pretty good game, or I should say a good game. He had 32 points. I believe he averages about 25 a game, so he was above his average. Oubre had 26 points. If you've been keeping up with him a little bit, or just watching Sports Center and some of the different, sports media outlets, Oubre is really playing really well. I always liked him, even when he was in Washington. I always thought he was a good player, but he's really been breaking out this year. I like his attitude. I like the grit he plays with. He's not afraid to say what he got to say. He talks his junk, and I like players like that, man, that, that makes the game interesting, talk a little bit of junk to a certain extent, not disrespectfully, but, just that in the game junk talking and just being amped up and fired up. I love that about him. DeAndre Ayton, we know that he has recently just come back. He put in 16 points. So the Suns played, as well as they could. This game really should have been a blowout. AD and LeBron should have got some real good rest last night, but unfortunately that was not the case. But hopefully this game coming up on Friday, the Lakers will play a lot better. Hopefully they'll be a lot more focused. Hopefully we can, take off once again, in this next game and hopefully get some in-game load management, because we know when it comes to LeBron and AD, they already stated if they're healthy, they're going to play. So, we're just hoping that, that next game, if we get a lead like this to where it balloons out that far, that hopefully these reserves, the bench, they'll come in and play a lot better and hold down a lead. Unfortunately, last night was definitely a disappointment, but we'll see what happens. We got the Pelicans coming in. It may not be a blowout situation because the Pelicans actually are playing really good right now. I believe they're on a 4-game winning streak. You guys know how I feel about Brandon Ingram. He was actually my favorite out of the 4 young guys that we previously had. I wanted to keep Ingram out of all 4. I would have rather had Ingram than Cruz. Than Cruz. That's just me. And I talked about it. I'm not going to go into it again, but as we can see, his numbers have skyrocketed. I just always love how he was able to just create his own shot. And I think right now he will be so beautiful off of that bench, coming off the bench. And, when Rondo doesn't have the ball in his hand, you can put the ball in Ingram's hand and he can pretty much create, get his own shot, get other people involved. And I think he would have definitely learned a lot from this veteran crew. But nevertheless, it is what it is. I have no problem with Kuz. Happy with Kuz. I think he has great potential. Like I said in the video when I talked about the possible, about Kuz possibly being traded. My thoughts is, I wouldn't trade him because I think he's the type of guy that will show up big when he gets the opportunity to play in the playoffs. But when I said that, that was before all of this nonsense happened with his trainer and, the stuff that his trainer had to say and what some people felt Kuz had co-signed with his call a spade tweet. So, I don't know where that stands now. Hopefully he's able to hang in there because I don't know who we could really go out to get to be a third scorer, consistent scorer. We're just finally seeing Kuz get to that. So to kind of start that process all over would be, I don't think it will be a good thing at this point in the season, but we'll see what happens. If it's really that serious and they need to get Kuz out of there, I'm sure they will. And, LeBron is going to definitely take the blame for that, whether he's involved or not. But yeah, Laker family, decent win last night. I don't even want to call it a good win because they should have never came back. AD, Bron, and the rest of the starters should have got some rest. But nonetheless, we got the W. We got some games coming up that should be winnable games. Like I said, we got the Pelicans on Friday, but I don't see that necessarily just being a giveaway game. Pelicans are playing really good right now, and they've beaten some quality teams recently. So we'll see what happens. Just wanted to hop on and just give my thoughts on the game and just say I appreciate all of you guys that subscribe so far, all of you guys that have commented on the videos and show love. Listen, I'm a Laker fan. I'm a part of the Laker family. I just love talking about the game. So, I'm going to keep putting out these videos. I took a little break. I apologize for that. But we're going to keep these joints consistently going, guys. But know that I love you, Laker family. And as I always say, stay true to the Laker family. All right, guys. Talk to you soon. Peace.